Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for this great event. Thank you for having us here. Thank you, Aqua City. Thank you, Poprad. Thank you, the people of Slovakia, for your kind and generous and contributions to this event and to having us here all today. It's really a pleasure to be here with you today. It came on very, in the past, I think, 10 days or so that Jan got in touch with me. But it's really a pleasure to be with you here today, and I hope we will share some experience on how to deal with smart cities in different ways. Having said that, I would I'll try and stick to the half an hour. I know we're late, so I will try to stick to the half hour that you've provided. This morning I'll be discussing with you, or actually sharing with you, my experience both as an architect, urbanist, as well as the former governor of Gíza, in trying to balance tradition and innovation. How do you do that in a heritage city, which has a lot of artifacts and a lot of heritage sites, and how do you sort of bridge the past, the present, and the future? To do this, before I start my presentation, I'd like to, and we'll talk about Gíza here. So I'd like to hear from you. I would like to see a show of hands. How many of you are aware or are familiar or informed about Gíza? Can we see a show of hands? Oh, only very few. Okay. So Gíza happens to be part of the Greater Cairo region. It sits across the on the west bank of the River Nile, just across from the city of Cairo proper. And it has a population, the Gíza Governorate has a population of over 9.5 million, so it's about twice the size of Slovakia. And it extends for over 400 kilometers. So you can actually drive in Gíza for 400 kilometers and yet not reach the other end of the governorate. And in addition to that, it has varied environments. It has a desert environment, it has a rural environment, and it has an urban environment. So it's very difficult to try and arrange that. Now, Gíza has become to be known the land of the pharaohs. It's the cradle of civilization. It's the jewel of the Nile. It's home to some of the most important artifacts and heritage sites worldwide, including the Great Pyramids of Gíza, which have been considered and listed as one of the 7 wonders of the world. It's also home to the largest grand museum worldwide, which is to be opened officially on the 3rd of July. It's home to Cairo University, which I come from, and which happens to be among the top 2.5% percentile of universities worldwide. So there's a lot to say about Gíza. Yet, unfortunately, Gíza, like many world cities, have, over the past few years, been facing numerous challenges. These challenges include climate change, as many cities are facing, but it also includes rapid urbanization, an issue that is really has many impacts on the environment. And also, in addition to that, it's facing the issues of shrinking public budgets. And the following slide, this slide here will actually illustrate to you the growth of the city of Cairo over the past 2 centuries. And as you can see, the city of Cairo was growing in a normal pattern until the mid-1970s, except starting the mid-1970s, and by the way, the colors are just indicative of the period or the time frame. So when you see green, that does not mean that it's a green area. It just means that this is a key to the period that it's happening. Now, as you will see in the 1970s, there is an exponential growth of the city of Cairo, the Greater Cairo region. And we'll see how fast that is. Now watch that. You see how fast that's happening now in a very, very short period of time. And this is only until 2000. So you can imagine. You can imagine how fast in the past, from 75 to 2000, 25 years, the city grew rapidly and impacting the urban environment. And as a result, we have over 43% of the Egyptian population live in cities. 56% of them live in the Greater Cairo region, as well as the Alexandria Governorate. As a result of this, urban planning, infrastructure, and service delivery, we're not able to cope with this rapid urbanization. And I'm sure this will be the case in many, many cities worldwide. As you can see, the adverse effects of rapid urbanization, the destruction of the natural habitats, the encroachment on heritage sites, and you can see, and I'll try and take this, okay, the pointer's not working. So you can see the upper image, which is the encroachment of informal development along the Gíza Plateau or the Pyramids Plateau, which is, and many other sites. So, and I'll show you later a map that the impact, how much percentage of informal development has been developed around the heritage site of the Gíza Plateau. Pressure on resources, poor environmental conditions, and congestion. How does a city that was so great at one point in time deal with all these issues in less than 25 years? With a population growth that has exceeded or reached around 10 million people. Well, let me tell you that the city of Cairo used to be at one of the most livable and one of the most modern cities in the early 20th century. It was actually competing with London, New York, and Paris for the first prize. And in many cases, it got the first prize. Now, this deterioration in less than a century has impacted the quality of life in the Gíza city. So, yet mobilizing and protecting and safeguarding cultural and natural heritage stimulates the socioeconomic development of cities and makes them more safe, resilient, and sustainable. It's for this reason that upon appointment by the president as governor of Gíza in 2014, it was my mission, I made it my mission and the mission of Gíza that we transform the city of Gíza into a model city, a city that respects its past, innovates for the present, and prepares for a sustainable future. A city where the pharaohs and futurists meet. And to do this, we had to identify clear objectives of what we need to do. So, working on the strategic plan for the city of Gíza, the 2030 strategic plan for city of Gíza, we identified a number of clear objectives. Our objective was to make sure that the city is connected, competitive, and these are strategic objectives, connected, competitive, and attractive. And when we say connected, we mean connected to the people, connected to the heritage sites, connected to the history, connected to nature, connected to the outer world, and that means with various approaches, whether it's information communication technology or otherwise, as well as being competitive internally and externally, and attractive to live in, to work in, to visit, as well as to invest in Gíza. Now, to do this, we identified three major themes: modernity, tradition, and innovation. And we provided for modernity through providing intelligent transport systems and intelligent and smart infrastructure, as well as digital governance. And we provided for tradition through maintaining the cultural heritage and the local identity by providing an architecture and a built form that is respectful of the tradition and cultural identity. And for innovation, by making sure that the product that is produced in urban form is no longer a traditional form. It's a continuity of the past, but it's not in itself the past. And as you can see in this picture, this picture, by the way, is of the Grand Egyptian Museum in Egypt. It is, as I said before, the largest museum worldwide, and it's opening on the 3rd of July. So welcome to Cairo, welcome to Gíza to visit the Grand Egyptian Museum. And as you can see, the architecture here resonates the traditional architecture of Egypt. Now, through the strategic development plan, we identified, and again, we won't go through all the strategic actions that we identified, but I chose the three most important strategic actions that due to time. Now, we identified that we need to be connecting the culture and natural resources. So we identified, and I'm sorry again, we identified those nodes, as you can see here. I defined where these priorities, and these are basically landmarks, activity nodes, sites of heritage sites, and we identified these and tried to prioritize them and try to see how we can connect them together through linear greenways. And when I talk about greenways, we don't necessarily mean green, we mean environmental friendly pathways. Our vision was basically to transform the city of Gíza, and not the governors of Gíza, but the city of Gíza, in 7 years. This was our mission. And to do this, in the first phase one of the project was 1.5 years. So we identified the zoo, which is this here, and the Orman Park, which happens to be the heritage sites. It's a heritage park, and we said we'll develop these. And now, as I said before, we do not have enough financing to do that. There's not enough government financing to do that. So for every pound we were spending, we were bringing from the private sector 3 pounds. So it's a 1-to-3 ratio. And we did this by providing added value. Now, as I said, we tried to connect these. We tried to rehabilitate these facilities. We had a plan to rehabilitate them. We made connections with the Japanese and many other consultants to take these heritage sites to what they used to be before, and trying to connect them through the Nile Corniche. Cairo sits on this side of the Nile. This is the Nile. And the current Nile Corniche or esplanade is actually blocked. So people can actually not walk and see the Nile because there's many facilities and land uses that are utilizing that space. So we were removing all these. We had a plan to remove all that and connect that and make the city more pedestrian oriented. To do this, we opened out routes in various parts to connect the city, and I'll show you how we did that. And by taking part of the volume of traffic, vehicular traffic underground through underpasses. So this is the Orman Park, the one at the top, and the lower part is part of the zoo. Here we have the major bridge that crosses the Nile from the east to the west. And at the end of the bridge, we have Cairo University as a vista, where I belong. And this planning process involved making sure that the pedestrians could reach from Cairo University all the way to the Nile without having to cross traffic. So we have major congestion problems in this area. So we actually developed 3 underpasses. The first underpass is just across from the Cairo University Bridge. And the second underpass was in front of Cairo University because there's a lot of congestion in this area. The third underpass is going this way around the Czech Republic Embassy, and there's a fourth one further north. Now, the concept of the underpasses is green underpasses. So you have these underpasses where you can actually, it's an open underpass. It's not like a tunnel structure like you have in Boston or many other places in the world. As you can see also that tower, this was a facility that was removed, and we decided that this should be utilized as a hotel overlooking the green parks as well as the Nile, the views of the Nile. This is an image of the tunnel in front of the, actually, out of these 4 tunnels, only one was actually built and constructed, and it's operating. It's slightly different than what it had, but it is operating. This tunnel was in front of the Cairo University, and as you can see, it's an open tunnel that includes a lot of greenery in it. Now, the second strategic action was that we introduced green mobility and intelligent transport systems. And to do that, we identified, of course, we did a SWOT analysis, identifying the threats and opportunities that were available while working on our strategic development plan. And we identified the nodes of activities and their importance and their priorities. And we thought how we would link these nodes of activities together. This, taking into consideration that the Cairo right now and the Gíza has a metro system. This metro system at the time only spanned for, when this study was done, it only spanned for about 86 kilometers with 3 lines. Now it's over 107. And it carries around 4.5 million passengers per day. The Cairo metro system is reported to be the highest number of boardings per kilometer. So it's very, very crowded. So we needed a mass rapid transit system. This is clear because when we did a study, we realized that at the time, for every million inhabitants, Cairo had 8 kilometers of rapid transit, as compared to Paris, 76 at the time, London 55, Mexico City 33, and Beijing 21. The green line here you see in this map is the 4th line, which is under construction, 4th metro line. So we were seeking how do we provide a multimodal transport system that is interconnected and integrated by including a bus rapid transit system, a water taxi system, cycleways, and bike sharing stations. Phase 1 of the project was, we worked with UN Habitat and a number of consulting firms worldwide to develop along King Faisal Road the bus rapid transit system, and it's actually being implemented right now. A BRT, a bus rapid transit system. This was phase 1 of the project, going all the way to in front of the zoo and the Orman Park, and tie it in with all the way to Masrah al-Balloon, or the Balloon Theater, and tying it to a number of water taxis, and also the cycleways that were generated by connecting the greenways together. Our third strategic action plan was to create green development nodes. And the concept of creating green development nodes is how do you attract investment, and how do you choose where to start development, and how does this development have impact on further development and transformation of the city. So we thought of, we did an analysis of the various sites, and of course, with the Gíza plateau, being the pyramids plateau being the most important, we identified this as phase one of the project. Two local firms were hired to work on this project with us, and we had a project that is developed into 5 phases, or 5 smaller action areas. Each action area is like a district in itself, a distinguished district. So the first action area was the GEM, or the Grand Egyptian Museum Hotel District, which is about 56 acres of land, and it sits north of number 1, sits north of the GEM, which is actually in yellow. I'm sorry, I can't, the pointer's not working. The GEM Plaza, which is south of the, now the GEM Hotel area was basically a number of hotels for 5 stars, 4 stars, 3 stars, and boutique hotels, along with some commercial facilities and services. The GEM Plaza sits just south of the Grand Museum, and it's about 170 acres. It includes the bus rapid transit station, the monorail station, parking, it includes cafes, antique shops, and so on. And I will show you in a minute some images for that as well. And then the third phase was the Sphinx, the Khufu Plaza. And the Khufu Plaza is about 255 acres of land, and it's axial to the 3 pyramids, Khufu, Khafra, and Munkara, as you can see. And it's designed in such a way that it imitates the sundial of the Egyptian sundial. And it includes various services, including the metro monorail bus stations, the restaurants, cafes, and also a lake, and we'll see this in a minute. And finally, the last 2 phases were the Sphinx Open Museum, which includes an esplanade and some shopping and an outdoor museum, and just sitting across from the Sphinx, and the Sphinx New Village, which is about 202 acres of land, and that is a housing and commercial facility development. Now, this map here shows you very important. This is the pyramids plateau. You can see. I don't know if you can see the 3 pyramids. As you can see, this is the development around the pyramids plateau. The dark part of the development, which is about 35% of the area of this development, is informal development. It is a development that is not planned for. So it's informal development, and we had to work on how to we were discussing with Jan just the other day the impacts of this informal development on the Gíza plateau. So how are we going to deal with this while not uprooting the people living there and working there? And I'll show you in a minute. So the first district is the hotel hotel district, and 56 acres of land sitting just north of the GEM, as you can see in red. It's basically, this is a conceptual, just to make sure that the designer at the time gets the feedback that this is a group of hotels overlooking the vista of the pyramids. And I will show you an image. This is a section we're utilizing the existing terrain of the site to make sure that that all views of the pyramids are not cut. This is how we anticipate it should look like. As you can see in the lower section, this is the GEM hotel area or district. In front of it is the GEM itself, which is the Grand Egyptian Museum, and in front of it is the GEM Plaza that we were discussing just a few minutes ago. And here is the pyramids, and as you can see, the cone of sight and the vista for the pyramids from the hotels is unbroken. Now, the second district is the Step Plaza, which includes medical facilities, the metro and monorail stations, as well as restaurants, cafes, and many other services. And basically, what this is a stepped garden and built garden without disturbing the landscape. So it sits within the terrain itself. So you can see here outlined in yellow the stepped plaza and how it's overlooking the Gíza plateau or the pyramids plateau. Again, this is an image of how it's going to look like with shopping and cafes, restaurants, and other facilities overlooking the pyramids without disturbing the view. The Khufu Plaza is the main aspect of the center district stage, and it's, as I said, it's axial to the three pyramids, Khufu, Khafra, and Menkaure. So, and it imitates the Egyptian sundial as well as the Nile coming close, and I'll show you an image of that in a minute, coming close to the pyramids area. So as you can see in the lower image at the right-hand corner, the Nile branches used to come close to the pyramids. So we developed a concept where there is a lake just sitting across from the pyramids. Making this study, of course, has to take further study to make sure that the water table is not impacting in any way the historical structures. And the sundial is designed as sundial is actually a parking area, reception areas, as well as connections to the monorail, bus rapid transit system, and so on. And this is the image, it's how it's going to look like. This is what we were anticipating. By the way, currently the government has hired or is negotiating with a U.S. firm to plan this area. Now, this just this is an image of the sundial. You can see here the monorail, and you can see the scale compared to how big the sundial is. This is the axis that was anticipated to the direct vista to the Khufu pyramids. The following project was the Sphinx Open Museum, which includes the sound and light just sitting across from the Sphinx, various services, as well as hotels and entertainment esplanade. As you can see here, this is a continuous hotel, but it's designed in a special way so it doesn't break the landscape. And the roofs of these buildings were thought to fit with the shape of the dune, the sand dunes, and you'll see that in a minute. So the hotel is designed to fit within the landscape and not to disturb the landscape, overlooking the Sphinx with the open museum in front of the Sphinx. The final stage of this development plan was for Sphinx Village. As we showed in an earlier image, that the informal development that's around the plateau, much of it is housing projects, housing development. So this white area is actually a formal housing development, the rest is informal. So we took on this 200-acre lot, developed it into a traditional form of housing. People would have the right to remain in that, so as not to be uprooted, to remain in that part of the city. As you can see here, this is the plan. And this is utilizing the architecture to fit within the traditional form of architecture that existed, and also while maintaining the vista to the pyramids, as you can see. I'll leave you with a 5-minute video just that illustrates the concepts itself.